Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Jeff. This is East Texas ADV. Today's video, we're going to talk about how I bleed my brakes or my hydraulic systems. This can go across cars, motorcycles, you name it. I've been doing this for years, something my grandfather actually showed me how to do way back when. And you don't need any expensive tools. You can source most of the stuff in your shop or just spend $5 at a hardware store and you got everything you need. You don't need a special power bleeding tool or anything like that. All you're going to need is about a 2-foot piece of vacuum hose that is 5/32 or 4 millimeter. And what you're looking for is this diameter of the hose fits snugly around the zert, so it doesn't pop off when you're trying to bleed your hydraulic system. Then you're going to need some kind of a container that will hold some liquid. I use water. Some people say brake fluid, but with the way chemicals are and it's getting pretty expensive, that's an awful lot of money to waste. I've never had a problem with it back going into the system. I chose a peanut butter jar because I put a hole in the metal lid. I've had this thing for years. And what you want to do is you only want to fill it about a quarter to half full, just enough so that when the hose moves at all, it won't come out of the water. And we'll go ahead and show you why here in a second. Then what you're going to need is an open end box end wrench. On the KTM, it's an 8 millimeter, and this is going to allow you to break the zert open. What's really neat about this thing is you can do it by yourself. You don't have to have any friends. You don't have to worry about pumping the brakes with the zert closed, you know, and then pumping the brakes and then opening it and then closing it and releasing the brake. It just open the zert, pump the brakes, put fluid in, pump the brakes, put fluid in until you see no more air bubbles coming out of that hose into that glass of liquid. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get set up, and I'll show you just how exactly I do this. Okay, and if you haven't had a chance, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for future notifications, and remember, up here, you want to drop me a line, there's our email address. Feel free to drop me a line. If you want some decals, let me know. I'll shoot you some decals. Anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and let's get to it.
It really helps to have a much longer piece of hose than what I have here, but you're going to want to have only a quarter of the jar full of water so you have somewhere for the brake fluid to go while you're bleeding the brake system. Sure, your zert, your cap, and everything is clean. No dirt, nothing like that. Take your wrench, which is a 6 millimeter, place the box in on the zert, give it a quick little pull to break it free. Put your bleeding hose securely on the zert so that it will not pop off. This is real important. Okay, go ahead and put the other end in the jar with the water in it. And you're going to go ahead and give the wrench about a quarter turn. And be careful because the rubber of the hose will make it kind of want to close itself again once you get it situated. Okay, when you first start pumping the brake, you're going to notice a lot of air coming out of this hose, and that's just because the brake fluid has got to go and fill the hose up. All right, so you're going to pump it. Remember, all that air is coming out is supposed to be there. Don't run out of brake fluid. It's got a very small reservoir on these bikes. Put your cap back on. Make sure it's always full. Go back to pumping again. You'll get about 3-4 pumps at the most before you have to refill. You want to continue to keep an eye on that hose. See how the bubbles are coming out? Now you're starting to get a little bit of fluid. That means you're starting to actually get the brakes bled and you're starting to get fluid out. When those bubbles start getting few and far between, that means you're almost done. What you want is nothing but fluid to be coming out of the hose into the jar. This also works really good when you're just changing fluids. Next, you're going to go ahead and close it, snug it up. Now, make sure you check your reservoir and make sure it's full again. And then you're going to want to go ahead and secure your cap for your reservoir. Be really careful in this next step when you take the hose off of the zert because it is a siphon effect and it will be full of brake fluid. So be really careful. You really want to pull the hose out of the jar first. I'm going to show you what not to do. But anyways, be really careful because brake fluid is corrosive and it can go everywhere unless you do it the opposite way of what I'm doing now. Just want to say thanks for watching, and whoops, well, have a great day.